Ever walked into a room and thought, that ladder looks wobbly? Or is that machine safe to use? Congratulations, you've just done a mini risk assessment. But in the world of health, safety and environment, HSE, risk assessment is way more than a gut feeling. It's a science, an art, and sometimes the difference between life and death. Today, we're breaking down the theory, methods, and real-world applications of risk assessment, and trust me, it's not as boring as it sounds. Stick around because by the end, you'll know how to spot risks like a pro, use killer methods to assess them, and apply this stuff in your own life or career. Plus, there's a jaw-dropping example that'll make you see risk assessment in a whole new light. Oh, and a little surprise at the end, so don't bail early. What is risk assessment anyway? Let's start simple. Risk assessment is just a fancy way of saying figuring out what could go wrong and how bad it would be. It's like being a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're preventing them. In HSE, it's the process of identifying hazards, analyzing their potential impact, and deciding if the risk is acceptable or needs action. Think of it in 3 steps. Identify, spot the hazards, like a slippery floor. Analyze, figure out how likely it is to happen and how bad it could be. Evaluate, decide if the risk is okay or if you need to do something about it. It's not rocket science, but it is life-saving science. The 2 main methods, qualitative versus quantitative. Now there are 2 ways to assess risk, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative is the vibe check. You use judgment to rate risks as low, medium or high. It's quick and great for everyday decisions. Quantitative, that's the math nerd's dream, using data and stats to calculate exact probabilities and impacts. Perfect for high-stakes situations like nuclear plants or space launches. Ever seen a risk matrix? It's a grid that plots likelihood against severity. Green means chill, red means panic. It's a qualitative tool, but it's a fan favorite because it's visual and easy. Pro tip, use it for your next project. Your boss will think you're a genius. Real-world applications where risk assessment shines. Let's get real. In construction, risk assessment is everything. Before a single brick is laid, HSE pros assess risks like falls, equipment failures, or even weather hazards. One missed step? Boom, disaster. Take the 2025 Miami high-rise collapse. Poor risk assessment led to a $100 million lawsuit. Yikes. But it's not just for hard hats. In finance, risk assessment helps decide if an investment is worth the gamble. Analysts crunch numbers to predict market crashes or golden opportunities. Even in your life, you do it, like when you decide whether to jaywalk or wait for the light. Practical tips for nailing risk assessment. Want to ace risk assessment? Here's your cheat sheet. Involve the team. Don't be a lone wolf. Get input from workers, managers, even the janitor. They see things you don't. Use a structured approach. Follow standards like ISO 31000. It's like a recipe for safety. Review regularly, risks change. That safe machine today might be a death trap tomorrow. Document everything. If something goes wrong, proof of assessment can save your bacon. Real talk. In a factory, an HSE officer might assess risks like machine malfunctions or chemical spills. By spotting these early, they can slap on safety guards or better ventilation. It's not glamorous, but it's heroic. The jaw-dropping example, when risk assessment goes wrong. Here's where it gets wild. Remember the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010? Botched risk assessment missed critical safety checks, leading to 11 deaths and the worst environmental disaster in US history. The cost? over $65 billion. That's billion with a B. One bad assessment and boom, catastrophe. The lesson? Risk assessment isn't just paperwork, it's a lifeline. Skip it, and you're playing Russian roulette with lives and livelihoods. Why you should care, even if you're not an HSE pro. Here's the kicker. Risk assessment isn't just for HSE nerds. You use it daily when you check the weather before a hike or decide if that sushi looks fresh. Mastering it makes you smarter, safer, and honestly a bit of a badass. Plus, in HSE, it's a game changer. Companies with solid risk assessments see fewer accidents, lower costs, and happier teams. It's not just about avoiding fines, it's about building a culture where safety is king. Your next steps. Ready to level up? Here's your move. Try a mini assessment. Look around your space. Spot 3 risks and decide how to fix them. Learn the tools, Google Risk Matrix and play around. Share the knowledge, tell a friend or co-worker. Safety loves company. Dive deeper, check out ISO 31000 for the full playbook. This isn't just theory, it's your secret weapon for smarter decisions, safer spaces, and maybe even saving the day. Unlock more at hsestudy.in! Want the ultimate risk assessment toolkit? Head to hsestudy.in for free guides, templates, and HSE hacks. Love this? Smash subscribe and ring that bell. We're dropping safety wisdom every week. Let's make the world safer, one assessment at a time. See you next time.